friend, and welcome to this Shot of Truth video all about cooling down. This is a fantastic 10-minute practice to do at the end of a workout, maybe even before you go to bed at night. And this series is called Shot of Truth, to recognize some of the lies that we tell ourselves all the time, right? So the lie that we're fighting today with the Shot of Truth is this lie that I'm only lovable if I hustle. Right? It's this idea that we have to work and perform and measure up and be this certain person in order to be loved and accepted and have a home. But the truth is, we are already completely and totally loved. We don't have to work for it. We don't have to fight for it. We don't have to perform for it. We are loved. So this is a 10-minute practice meditating on that truth. Before we get started, I just want to help set us up for the first pose of this practice, which is going to be a very restorative pose. I'm going to use a couple of blocks for it, so if you have blocks at home, grab them now. We're going to start in a supported fish pose. If you don't have blocks, grab a pillow or a couple of blankets that you can roll up, and I'll show you how to use that in a minute. First, let's set up for supported fish as if you had blocks. One block is going to go on the medium height. One block is going to go on the tall height. This medium height block is going to go right underneath your shoulder blades. So feel free to wiggle it around as you need to. And then this top block is going to go right on your head. Arms out to the side. This is a beautiful chest opener and heart opener. Now, if you don't have blocks at home, not a big deal. You can still get the same kind of chest and shoulder opener with a pillow or blanket. All you're going to do is lay it down lengthwise on your mat and lie down so that it runs the length of your spine. It's a little bit less intense as the blocks, but you still get that same sense of opening. So grab your props, set up in supported fish however you have it, and let's get started. Lying in either your supported fish pose or just with some blankets or pillows underneath your spine, arms out long. Close your eyes. Feel your shoulders get heavy. Feel your ankles roll open and your thighs sink into the mat. The lie says I will only be loved if I hustle, if I work for it, if I strive, if I prove myself. But the truth is, you are already completely loved. There is nothing to prove, nothing to hide, nothing to protect. You are already completely loved. Psalm 37, verse 7 says, "Be still before the Lord and wait patiently for him." It doesn't say, beat yourself black and blue trying to get God's attention. Be still before him. Wait for him. Acknowledge his presence here and now. See if you can use your breath to bring a little bit more tenderness to some tight places in your body. And then gently roll over to your side and press yourself up to sit. When you get there, roll your shoulders up and down to your ears a few times, nice and slowly here, there's no rush. And lengthen the weight of your shoulder blades down your back as you roll your head over to the left side. And then really small micro movements forward and back here, stretching the front and the side and the back of your neck. And then let your chin roll heavy into your chest and over to the right side. Once again, really small movements on this right side here. Good. Head rolls heavy behind you. And back to the center. Let's place your feet on the floor. And just windshield wiper your knees side to side, swaying them from the right to the left, releasing any tension you're holding on to in your low back. Good. The next time your knees fall to the right side, hold them there. With your left hand on the mat, stretch your right arm up and over for this beautiful side stretch on your right hip, your right side body. Relax your shoulders down and breathe into that tight space. Place your right hand back on the mat, coming back to center. And take your right ankle now, that bottom ankle, and cross it over your left knee. Lengthen your pubic bone towards your knee, stretching out the front of that left hip. Good. We're going to keep this moving into more of a hip stretch. So keep that ankle crossed over that knee, but begin to place your left foot on the mat. So that knee's going to come up to the center, and you can find yourself in the seated figure 4 pose. Lengthen your heart towards your shin here, shoulders back. And if you feel a stretch here, then hang out here. If you're not feeling anything quite yet, crawl that left foot over towards the opposite side of the mat and begin to stack ankle on top of knee, shin on top of shin, like 2 fire logs. And if you're still not feeling anything here, then you can begin to crawl your fingers forward, folding forward over those stacked legs. Wherever you are, can you soften your thighs? Can you breathe a bit more deeply? Exodus 14:14 says, "The Lord will fight for you. You need only to be still." Slowly start to press yourself back up and begin to place both feet back onto the mat. Windshield wiper your knees from side to side again. And then the next time they fall to the left, hold them there. Your right hand's going to stay on the mat and your left arm is going to sweep up and over for a side stretch. Smooth breaths in and out, softening your jaw and your neck. Good. Left hand comes back down to the mat. And now let's cross that left ankle on top of your right knee. Gently pressing that knee away from you to help deepen the stretch. Keeping that ankle on your knee, start to plant your right foot on the mat, finding this figure 4 pose. Lengthen your spine here, crown of the head up to the ceiling, heart towards your foot. And noticing the difference on this side. Maybe walking that foot over to the opposite side, maybe stacking your legs, maybe folding forward, finding your edge, and just closing your eyes and breathing into it. One of my favorite quotes is by Abraham Heschel, and he says the higher goal of spiritual living is not to amass a wealth of information, but to face sacred moments. This quote is saying, forget the busyness and the more, and the hustle and the schedule, and be present to this sacred moment. Can you find the presence of God in the stretch, in the wind blowing the leaves of the trees? Slowly start to press yourself back up and stretch your legs out long in front of you. We're going to take a wide-legged forward fold now. So if you're somewhere soft, you can just spread both of your legs open here. If you'd like, you can turn your body so that you're facing the long edge of your mat and your feet stay on your yoga mat the whole time. It doesn't have to be a super wide extension. But see if you can sit up tall here. If you have blocks, you're welcome to grab them. And stack them one on top of the other or just one at a time depending on how open and flexible you feel, and rest your forehead down on them. But wherever you are, walk your fingers out to a degree that feels appropriate. And we're just going to hang in this stretch for a few seconds. Seeing if we can face this sacred moment. Slowly start to press yourself back up. Put a bend in your knees and bring them back together. And let's lie all the way down onto your back. We're going to take one bridge pose before the end of our practice. And if you have a block, can I recommend making this a supported bridge pose? It's one of my favorite poses of all time. Just slide that block right underneath your sacrum, the very bottom of your spine. If you don't have a block with you, that's okay. You can just take a regular bridge pose. Or if you have quite a bit of flexibility in your back, you can play with sliding your hands underneath your hips as a bit of a support so that your hips can be heavy and open a bit more. Letting go of the need to hustle and perform in this pose. Good. Wherever you are, slowly lower back down to the mat. And bring the soles of your feet together and your knees wide. We're going to lie all the way down. If you're not there already, good. Place one hand on your heart, one hand on your belly. And we're going to close our practice here. In this reclined hip opener. Feeling your breath, feel your heart, feel your belly. Remembering that you are completely loved. There's nothing to prove, nothing to hide, nothing to protect. You are loved. Thank you for practicing with me today. I will see you back here on your mat soon.